What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Age of Ultron Black Widow and the Inhuman Karnak. Now watch this because it's going to be very important for this team. Black Widow's level 9 Widowmaker places targeted on the enemy agent. After that we can hit him with our unarmed melee attack no problem, even though he has the watchful eye. That pretty much solves the problem of having mostly unarmed melee attacks with this team, so that's why I thought that was very important for me to point out first. This video is going to be very action-packed, that's why we jumped right into the fight. But now with that very important info shared, I want to get to the reason why we made this video. Hopefully all of you saw that this was the final team in the last All Hail the King episode, and in that video, I asked if you would like to see more of this team up, and also for some team name suggestions. I received some very good team names, so here's a few for honorable mention. First, Max said how about covert combos? Then Mariano said Team Fist Fatale. Henri suggested the combo connection. And then a very clever outside the box name that made me laugh came from Mature Kid 13. This team could be the Rockettes. But ultimately there could only be one winner, and that came from Chucky J on Twitter. The team name is a perfect combination of both characters, minus the W on Widow. And so these two together are the Karnado. Aptly named because they leave a trail of carnage in their path. Oh, and what is that? It's a double Karnado all the way across the sky. But anyways, back to the action. This team absolutely shreds through the opponents, as you saw in that first match, which only lasted about a minute and 30 seconds. In this match, we get to go first with Black Widow, which is just about all we could ask for. We will begin by using her level 9 on the enemy agent. So yes, he may have the Huygens Eye equipped, but like I said at the beginning, we will still be able to hit him with our unarmed melee attacks. However, if he wasn't targeted, or if we didn't have a debuff like Staggered, Black Widow could still hit him with her level 2. Widow's Bite is a ranged gun attack, and as such we can also place the bursting AISO on it, that way we can apply Shield Breaker. So here we are taking a very good look at exactly what the enemy agent does, and we're facing him with a Karnak that only has unarmed melee attacks. Still, we hit him with a Fracture Flaw no problem, and we get a Cosmic Cardinal follow-up. Pretty awesome, right? Well, that's just what the Karnado does. Next, on Kazar's turn, he hits us with a Knife Slash, and he takes a Dragon's Foot counter. But that's not all. Black Widow's passive activates, and she drops him with a Flying Kick. Then with my agent, I'll use the Neuro Purge, which will help out Karnak's level 9. And that unfortunately was the end of our turn. Also, we miss with the preemptive Fracture Flaw. After Anti-Venom hits us with a Crusade, we also miss a Flying Kick counter. So just imagine if all of those hits landed, that would have been incredible. Instead, we're left to use Karnak's level 2, Stress Point Perception, and then we're going to use his level 9. Shatter Strike is a Paragon Exploiter move that also has Fatal Blow, so it can be devastating on an opponent. A full health Anti-Venom is no match for Karnak. So moving on to our next opponents. We searched high and low to find some more difficult matchups for this team, and we did come across a few, so I wanted to go ahead and include those at the end of this video. There was a Quicksilver and Null team that took us to the wire, and a Pestilence Beast and Kurth team that we handled pretty easily, but I went ahead and included this one and the next opponents, which I think you'll enjoy. Now unfortunately, we got hit with a Gamma Bomb first thing in this match, and that's just about the worst thing that can happen, especially when I think the enemy agent has grief. We did however go for the stun on Beast and we got it, plus we dropped his health by about 50%. Next up with my agent, I'll use the Neuro Purge, and then I'm going to opt for the Blackest Void. Basically I'm hoping that we can cause the enemies to attack each other, rather than getting another hit on our team. We need all the health and all the relief we can get. And that's just because of these crazy dots and debuffs, plus the fact that at some point, they're going to pull out a heavy AoE weapon. Alright, that went pretty well except he did miss the hit on his own beast. But now with Karnak, I'm going to use Shatter Strike on the Red Hulk. This takes him very close to Fatal Blow range. However, since it was changed, we come up just short. Well, that would have been helpful, especially since he uses Bulwark on his very next turn. But at least we have a stealthy attack, and with that, we take down the enemy Pestilence Beast. This would have allowed my agent to use the Light Fantastic and remove our debuffs, but we end up being stunned. So next, the enemy agent hits us with the Grief. We did get kind of fortunate on dodging, but we have so many debuffs that Karnak dies. Luckily, we still have Black Widow literally for the win. First, we'll use the Widowmaker, then a Flying Kick, and she's going to drop Red Hulk, then both agents die to dots. So we just managed to pull that one out. Then moving on to our final matchup, we had to face Null and Kurth. It looks like a solid team, but who am I kidding? Null and Kurth are always solid. The enemy agent has the Bruiser Safeguard Suit, the Signpost, apparently the Deathly Freeze Ray, plus at the very least the Synthetic Cube. With my agent, we'll begin with the Neuropurge, which doesn't work on Kurth, and then I'm going to use the Dragon's Foot on the agent. This does a decent hit, but we don't get a follow-up this time. Next, we're hit with Fear Me, and we don't have any way to counter that with this team. So while I decide what I'm going to do, it doesn't even matter in the end because we get hit with Cower. But hey, Karnak's Preemptive Fracture Flaw does indeed hit Null, who in turn hits our entire team with World Breaker. Now when it comes to Null, obviously he's been completely changed, nerfed in some ways, but he has become much more unpredictable. I think he's easier to deal with mainly because of Ragnarok'em Sock'em. It just doesn't hit that hard and isn't nearly as scary as Fatal Fist. But I have been told by others that they're still having a problem with him. Of course, Kurth on the other hand really hasn't been nerfed, outside the fact that now her runes will disappear once she's knocked out. But one thing I think they really should look at is her rune Explosion. It does entirely too much damage. Okay, and of course, once again Cower strikes Karnak, but at least we still get to use his level 9 on the enemy agent. With him out of the way, we can now focus on Kurth next. Unfortunately, after Ragnarok'em Sock'em, it looks like he procs an extra turn. Luckily for us, he's stunned so he won't get to act. Now with the Age of Ultron Black Widow, we'll use her highest damage ability on Kurth, and this time we get a Cosmic Cardinal follow-up. For my agent's turn, it pretty much comes down to the Improbability Field or the Dragon's Foot. The Dragon's Foot may be worth using against Kurth, but we would definitely want that follow-up attack. With both of those, you don't know exactly what you're going to get, but we went with the Cube's ability instead. The good news is at this point, our Karnak's easily going to finish off Kurth with a Shatter Strike. After that, it's going to be 3-on-1, and we should easily be able to take down Null. First, with Black Widow, we're going to use the Widowmaker, and then our Flying Kick. It's definitely my favorite attack from her. It does massive damage and removes buffs. This does over 9,000 damage, and we get a 4,000 damage Cosmic Cardinal follow-up. So, with what should be my agent's final turn, we're going to use the Neuropurge, and then instead of finishing it, we're going to save Null for Karnak. The Atom Smasher would have easily knocked him out, but I wanted to finish him off with the Shatter Strike, and this attack is going to do over 15,000 damage. That's also exactly how this video is going to end. So I want to thank you all for watching, thank you for your suggestions, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.